All right, welcome back to Hop on Calls. I am your host, Kevin Hopp. I am joined today by one of ORUM's finest, Avi Mesh. Introduce yourself, Avi. How we doing?
Kevin, I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for having me. Been looking forward to this. That intro is fantastic, by the way. That music gets me fired up. I'm ready to make some calls.
Look, I kind of wish that I could start my day every day with the trailer of like, all right, Kevin's showing up to work. Check
Love
it
that.
out. Look out. Here it comes. Like, what that would be such a move if every time you started a Zoom, like you come into the Zoom room, it's like, oh, Avi's here. And then your trailer plays of like, Avi Mesh.
It's like a walk-up song, playing baseball. Yeah,
Exactly.
about to hit a home run.
It would get people hyped up. I don't know what your take is on that, but during the pandemic, there were a few times that I would play music coming into a Zoom with a team.
Okay.
And I think if everyone knows that there's going to be music, it's actually kind of a cool team building thing because everyone's kind of vibing to the music. Then you pause the music, turn on your camera, and you're like, hey, team. So same idea.
Yeah, I've actually never had like a walk-up song before on a demo, but I might start doing that going forward. Might be a fun little ad.
Look, let's A/B test it. Let's find out if it helps your conversion rate. That would be really good. We're not here to talk about Zooms or walk-up music. We are here to make some calls. It is
Yes,
time
sir.
to hop on calls. This series, this episode, what we're doing today, this is co-sponsored by Hopp Consulting Group, which is me, the cold calling geek, and ORUM. Avi, would you do me a favor? Can you walk the crowd through kind of the basics of what is ORUM and how are we going to use it today?
You know what, Kevin? I absolutely can. I'd be happy to do that. So we are, ORUM is an AI-assisted dialer. So we work with firms that are leveraging Salesforce, Outreach, SalesLoft to help them make a lot more calls in a lot less time without sacrificing quality.
I love it. I love it. And it's simple to get into?
Very simple. Yeah, absolutely. Just go to ORUM.com. You log in using your credentials. I can show you guys a quick demo if you'd like.
Let's do it. Let's see it.
Right.
Let's see it. Let's see it right before we fire up the magical engine here.
Can you see my screen?
They can as of right now.
Beautiful. All right. So we use Outreach over here at ORUM. So when you log in, you're going to be able to choose from whatever kind of list that you're most interested in. So if you're using Outreach, it could be all the do tasks across all your sequences. You can call your one-off tasks, or you can even call any individual sequences. One reason we do that, I think like assisted dialers have a bad rap in that they're viewed as like this spray and pray kind of tool. I believe that when leveraged properly, and a dialer can help, you can be a lot more strategic at scale. And that's one of the things that we do. Now, this UI that you see here, these are all fields that we're pulling in from both Outreach and Salesforce to give you as a rep all the information that you need to have a productive call. All the personally identifiable information here is to the left. What you're seeing in front of you, hopefully you can identify who I'm going to be calling here in a moment. So in addition to this information, right, like we're also going to give you guys the ability to dial anywhere from 1 to 10 people at a time, depending on how strategic you're being, depending on how varied your messaging is going to be. One speed may be better than others. Finally, we're moving away from local presence. If you're using the Outreach, click to call. If you're using SalesLoft, click to call. You might be familiar with local presence where first 6 digits of the number that you're calling from are going to match your prospects. Instead, what we do at ORUM, we're going to give each of your reps up to 10 numbers that they can rotate between. I like to have it because I'm calling nationally. I like to have different numbers from different time zones, depending on who I'm calling. I can go in and I can dial them from a number that they're most likely to answer.
I love it. Why don't we see it in action? So I think the key to the magic here, if you're watching this, you've never seen ORUM before. When Avi presses go, we're not going to call one person. We're going to call 2 or 3 people at a time. And the first person to pick up, boom, in our ear instantly. So we're going to have a few conversations here. Avi, get dialed in and let me know when you're ready to rock and roll.
Let's do it. Give me 1 sec. Testing. All right. My microphone is good to go. All right. So I'm going to start by calling 3 people at once. I'm not
Awesome.
sharing my screen anymore,
Cool.
am I?
No, you're not.
Okay,
You're good.
so I don't want to share any PII. All right.
That's right.
Cool.
So we'll continue to have a conversation here, and just start your script, jump right in when you get a connect, and I'll stop talking.
Sounds good.
So you talk to a lot of teams that are working on outbound sales in particular, like when they get introduced to ORUM, like generally what's like the first reaction there? Like, what do you see? Are people still making calls 10 digits at a time? Like, is that really common?
Hey, Daniel. Hey, this is Avi with ORUM. Good morning. How you doing? I sent you an email this morning. You had reached out to me on LinkedIn. Is now a terrible time? You said a noodle timer? 4 minutes? We're making pasta. Okay, cool. Well, hey, I was, say what? Okay. Sounds fantastic. I'm jealous. I'm starved right now. But hey, I wanted to reach out to you. I only have a couple of minutes. I know you had reached out about maybe scheduling some time to review the product. Don't know what your calendar looks like over the next couple of days. Would you be opposed to setting up just a short call, 30 minutes? It's going to be fun. Okay. After June 1st is fine. I'm not going anywhere. How's the week of the 6th? I'm in New York City. Yes, sir. How's 4 o'clock on the 7th Eastern? Yep. All right. I'm going to send you an invite. Talk to you then. All right. Thanks, Daniel. See ya. Bye.
It's that easy. It's
not that easy. It's not that. That wasn't a cold call. He'd reached out to me to learn more. So
well,
I can't take credit for that being a cold call, but it is a booked meeting. So that's cool.
Oh, I love that. I love that. And so does the crowd.
And the crowd goes wild.
Exactly.
Let's get it.
So let's address this for the folks that are tuning in, that are asking about hearing the prospect. It's actually pretty illegal to play someone's voice without them knowing about it. So for the legality of the situation, we're not going to play the other side of the call, but you can hear half of it. And of course, Avi and I are going to break down what happened during the call right afterwards. So Avi, talk to me about that. So he said that he was busy a little bit. He was making pasta. Who makes pasta at like 1 p.m. Eastern?
Making some soba noodles, it sounds like. I'm not as well read on the differences there, but it sounds delicious. Like I said before, he'd reached out about taking a look at ORUM. He reached out to me over InMail. I responded. I hadn't heard back from him. So trying to be multi-threaded, omni-channel. Left him a quick voicemail, called him again. Here we are.
There you go.
Also, I want to work with my marketing team for our calls. If we can get like the recordings of them and maybe have them bleep out some of the like PII so we can actually share and show that I'm not, just faking it right now and that I'm actually having conversations. So maybe that's something I can talk with my marketing team about.
That would be really cool. We put together something like that. All right, let's fire it back up. Are we back in
Your turn.
the seat?
You're up. Let's get it.
Oh, I'm up. Shoot. Well, I got to dial in.
Do you want to go connect to connect, or you want me to keep going? Like, how do you want to do this?
Yeah, you keep going for right now, and then I'm up after your next connect. How about that? Is that fair?
Let's do it. Yep, let's do it. You were asking me a question before I got connected, but I totally forget what it was.
I guess the question is like when you get into a situation where you're talking to a team that's working on outbound and like they like your message and they agree to take the meeting, what's the most common thing that you come up against? Is it No. My reps love punching the phone 10 times to make each dial, and they love listening to the dial tone. Like the dial tone is like the soundtrack of their day, and they are happy with it. Do you hear that, or what are you hearing when you talk to people?
Believe it or not, I don't hear that often.
Okay.
Hey, John. John, can you hear me? Hey, it's Avi with ORUM. Good afternoon. I sent you an email this morning. Could I steal a minute? I promise I'll be brief. Is there any way that we could schedule a quick call just to debrief when you take a look at it? The title of the email was More Calls, Less Time. Pretty interesting, I'm sure. Okay. Beautiful. All right, John. Once you take a look at it, would love to hear your thoughts. You promise you're going to reply? It's not just a blow off, right? All right. I appreciate you. All right. I'll talk to you later. Bye. He hasn't seen my email. Let me take a look and I'll respond. That was what he said.
So do they ever really see the email? Is my question. Like I've had I know everybody who is in outbound sales is watching this has said, yeah, I've called someone who the analytics said that they opened it 10 times, and they were like, no, I've never heard of you, never heard of your company, never seen the email. Like how common is that people are like, yeah, I saw your email and I just been meaning to reach back out?
Yeah, so I've actually done some like A/B testing on that because I know a lot of people look at emails on their cell phones, right? So you want to look at when you're sending emails, have them optimized for that mobile format. So a lot of times we use outreach, like I said before. So I'll have an email that I'm testing out. I'm not sure if I want to send it or not. I'll send it to myself on my personal email. I actually just got a notification that he opened the email from outreach for what it's worth. So that's cool. So anyway, if you just look at your phone and that email is there, that counts as a view. Now, yeah. I haven't necessarily, and I got a notification from outreach on that when I would just be looking at the email, but not necessarily reading it. It's still like in my notifications. So I think that it is legit, even if you are getting notifications that people are looking at it, that maybe they haven't understood what you said, like had a chance to internalize it and respond. So I thought it was a valid response, not to mention the fact that he just opened it. So we'll see if he calls me back.
I love that. So one of the other things, and I don't know, take this or leave it, right? One of the things that I say when people mention, oh, send me an email, or I didn't see your email, I'll look at it later. I try to paint the real picture of what their inbox is like. Now, I know you're asking, Kevin, how do you know what their inbox is like? Because check it out, I'm a sales guy, and my inbox is a nightmare. I can only imagine someone that's got a team, someone that's got investors, got all these people. Their inbox is an absolute nightmare. So I'll drop a little line like, hey, I'm happy to send you that email. I just know that my inbox is overflowing and I could never get it to inbox 0. And it's just things tend to pile up like a big pile of junk. Is that really the best way to communicate with you? You want me to send you?
Oh, I like that.
Email? And then you do that like the drop tone at the end, and they'll go like this. Sheesh. Actually, yeah, my email is a nightmare. What is this about? Ding, ding. Let's have a topic-driven conversation right here and now and get to the bottom of whether or not it makes sense to talk about it another time.
I dig. I mean, I think so for me, I try to respect in some case, not that you're not doing that. Obviously, I love that tactic. It's fantastic. I try to respect the fact he told me like, hey, I'm eating lunch right now. I haven't looked at your email. Let me call you back or let me shoot you a response. Sometimes I'll push, sometimes I don't. Fortunately, with something like ORUM, I can pursue these guys and follow up with them at scale, and it doesn't take me much time at all, right? If I'm using a click-to-call dialer or, God forbid, dialing by hand using my cell phone, right, it might be a different story. I might feel more of a need to get them while I've got them, right? But now with ORUM, I can just dial multiple people at once and get them on the phone faster. So
that's right. ORUM's automated follow-ups that's where it's at. Good question here. I thought we'd look at. I've been told the permission-based openers can lead to objections. How do you navigate this? Could you just go straight to asking who handles what you're calling about that company? What's your take on this, Avi?
I'm all about permission-based openers. I think sales reps have a bad rep in that they don't care about their prospects' time. They're selfish. They just want to book meetings and make their own money. And I feel like the permission-based opener doesn't make you seem like lower than from a status perspective. You don't have to push them and spear them into telling you who's in charge of cold calling initiatives at your company, right? Ask
Yeah.
if they've got a minute. I like to do it in a no-oriented way. So is now a terrible time, or could I steal just 1 minute? Often they've got a moment for me. And once they give me permission, that gives me a chance to get into my opener. And if they try to blow me off at that point, it kind of goes against what they just said, right? There's that cognitive dissonance. They said, I have a minute for you. But now I'm 10 seconds into my pitch and they say, oh, I don't have time to talk. I'm not interested. Well, what are we talking about here? I know you're a big permission-based opener guy, right?
I am. And shout out to Chet Lovegren. Him and I go back and forth about permission-based openers. He's not a fan. I'm a huge fan. The reason being a lot of things you just mentioned, Avi, which is a permission-based opener gets rid of the number one problem. What's the number one problem? Like in my opinion, after making literally at least 500,000 cold calls, the number one problem is what I call the false negative. What's the false negative? It's in the first 20 seconds before you have a back and forth dialogue, before you're talking business person to business person. The prospect says something along the lines of, take me off your list. You know what? I'm really not interested. Thanks for the call. We're good. Right? Wow. How many times have all you guys heard that? I can picture the 80 people that are on the live right now rolling their eyes and going, oh my God, I hear that all the time. Yeah. Right. So that's the false negative. It's a false impression that they're actually not interested. The permission-based opener gets that out of the way because you're clearing the field. You're clearing the air. You're like, hey, look, I'm an interruption. I'm calling out of the blue. Like, do you have time to talk about this? You want to get to that. No, I'm making noodles. I can't talk. No, I'm juggling the phone. I got my coffee on my knee. My kid's screaming in the back, and the dog just threw up on the back seat. Like, when that's happening, don't pitch. Don't have a cold call.
Right.
Hang up and call them again another day. It's that easy. All right. By the way, I am logged in and I'm ready to go. I'm about to press go. I am dialing on my side. So as soon as I get to connect, I will start talking.
So yeah, back to your original question, Kevin, which was how do teams feel when they see ORUM for the first time? I think there's a little bit of shock. They're a little bit nervous. It's faster than what they're used to. They're worried they're going to burn bridges. And so what we train them to try to...
This is Kevin with Hopp Consulting. Lorraine, how are you? I'm doing great. But look, I know I'm a bit of an interruption here. Do you have 30 seconds? I can tell you why I called. Fantastic. Start the clock. Well, I speak with sales leaders like yourself on a daily basis, and they generally mention struggles around one of two areas, right? That their outbound team avoids picking up the phone on a consistent basis, or when they do get on the phone, that they're not converting conversations to meetings at a high rate. Now, Lorraine, I didn't know. Are either of those problems that... Yes, go ahead. Okay. Oh. Okay, well, Lorraine, question for you. If you're not the right person for me to talk to about outbound calling effectiveness, who would be the right person? Oh. Okay. No, that's totally fair. Awesome. No, Lorraine, thanks for giving me a minute here. I'll do a bit more digging on LinkedIn. Thanks for sharing that detail about the merger coming up. That's actually really important to know. Love it. All right. Thanks, Lorraine. Have a great day. Ding, ding. Okay, not a meeting, but Lorraine has a title, which is Global Revenue Operations. Now, sometimes revenue operations deals with things like what I do, which is helping reps get good on the phone, helping teams use technology. And she mentioned two things that are really key. One is that she doesn't deal with any of the callers directly. So this is like a step away from what she does. And two, her company is going through a merger right now. This is part of, and to Christian Allen's point here, yes, Avi and I are both using ORUM. That was, I was calling 3 people at once. It took me, less than a minute to get a connection to a VP of Global Revenue Operations at a company, which was awesome. And this is why I love cold calling. Like, I just learned so much information, like inside information about what this company is doing, what's going on at that company, and it's going to inform the way that I reach out to them in the future. Now, if I had sent them an email and they didn't respond, I don't know if I'd know any of that, right? So
100%.
It's just an awesome, awesome learning opportunity. And I'm back in the dialer. It is running here.
I like the way that you open your calls, by the way, right? Like when I talk to sales leaders, they're focusing on this, they're focusing on this. Does either one of those resonate for you? Give them an option.
Yeah, I've found that as long as you have the title right, like as long as you're talking to the right person, right? And this comes back to another thing that I'm really passionate about, which is process and structure around cold calling. I think a lot of people that don't like cold calling did what I did early in my career, which is let me open Salesforce, run sort of a report, and go down and say, okay, yeah, I'll call this person, okay. And I had a phone that, we had Polycom phones. I don't know if you guys have ever. I was actually in an office too. This is all stuff that kids these days laugh at, right? Can you imagine being in an office with a Polycom phone and hitting 10 digits at a time? So that's how I started my career as an SDR at a SaaS startup. And I would call, SV. Hey, this is Kevin with Hopp Consulting Group. Bradley, how are you doing? Ooh, he hung up. So let's double tap, right?
Let's go.
You ready?
Must have disconnected. Must have had some technical difficulties.
Hey, Bradley, I think I lost you there. I've been having phone issues all day. This is Kevin with Hopp Consulting Group. Did I catch you with a second to have a conversation? Oh, shoot. All right. Well, have a good move, Bradley. Cheers. All right. Bradley is not working today. He is moving. And I'm not going to have a conversation with him about sales right now.
Okay.
Good idea. And this comes back to the point that we were just talking about, which is permission-based openers, right? If I just jumped into that, what are the odds that Bradley, hey, this is Kevin with Hopp Consulting Group. Jake, how you doing? Okay, but now, all right, Jake, I'll let you go. Bye-bye. Boom, boom, boom. And I'm back. Dialing in literally seconds. Jake,
let me get the next one after this next connect because I got to follow up with somebody real quick.
I'm all for it. Hey, this is Kevin with Hopp Consulting. Is this Michael? Michael, I can hear a lot of background noise. Is now a good time for a conversation? Yeah, my name's Kevin. I'm with Hopp Consulting Group. But hey, look, it sounds like you're on a Zoom maybe and not a good time to chat, huh? All right, cheers. Yeah. All right. Okay, this is a super critical learning lesson for everybody. Now, this is something that I gotta say, it's not SDR 101. This is SDR level like 201 or like, when you get in junior, senior year in college, the 300, 400 level classes. Active listening and calling things out right away. So Michael answered my call. I clearly said my name and what was going on, and all I heard in my ear was like, right? He did what we all have happened to us all the time when we cold call, which is, hello? Yeah, I'm in a Zoom meeting right now, but I answered the phone when I don't know who's calling. And I called that out and I said, hey, Michael, sounds like you're on a Zoom. And he was like, yeah, who's this again? And I said my name. And then I said, it's not a good time to talk, right? He's like, no, it's not. Hang up and walk away.
Yep.
The false
Not
negative
only
will kill you guys. Like, don't get sucked into the false negative.
Not only is it active listening, it's empathetic selling, right? Because we've all been cold called during a bad time, right? When something's going on, the dog's barking, baby's screaming, right? It's like, how would you feel? You know what I mean? If somebody pushed you into a conversation. So anyway, I'm gonna call this guy. I promised I'd call him back. So I'm gonna call him now. Let's see if he picks up.
Love it. For those counting at home, I've made a total of 10 dials and had, I think that was 4 live connections. Hot, hot, hot. So are you doing a one-off call right now?
I'm doing a one-off right now, but then I'm gonna get back.
Okay.
Hey, Tyler. Hey, it's Avi again. Is now a better time? All good. How'd it go? Nothing crazy. All right. Well, I'm reaching out to you. I saw you guys are using outreach. Saw that you were heading up sales for your firm, and go ahead. Okay. Okay. Oh, no way. Okay, great. Okay. Okay. No worries. Why? Just curious. No, go ahead. What you're gonna say? Yeah. Yep. Okay. Yeah, I'll take her number for sure. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, I have an idea, Tyler, if you're not opposed. Could I send you a quick email? Maybe you copy paste it, copy me on that, and send it to Grace for an intro, since you've heard of us. What's your email again? Got it. Okay, cool. That's what I have as well. So I'm going to send you an email here in a minute. I appreciate all the intel, by the way. And please thank whoever you spoke to about ORUM for me. Much appreciated. And yeah, let's connect with Grace. And then as you guys build out that, North America BDR, SDR team, we'll see if we can help them out as well. Sound good? All right, man. Appreciate it. Absolutely. You as well. I'll be in touch. Thanks, Tyler. Bye. So loved all the information that he gave me, but definitely was not the optimal timing during a live cold calling session to get all that information. So I apologize for the dead air. I know that's not ideal. I think you might be muted, Kevin.
Oh yeah. Sorry,
I can hear you.
I was just laughing. There's not much to hear. That was a really long call, which is really good.
That was wild. But he gave me a referral, so we're good to go. So I'm going to reach out to him after this.
I love it.
One of those situations. So I called him before this earlier today. He said it's not a good time. Call me back later. So I called him just then from the same caller ID, so he knew it was me. Answered the phone, and I guess he's heard of us before, which is fantastic. And had some positive feedback from someone that's currently using us and wants to get us in at their team with their team. So
there you go. So we
no meeting, but a move in the right direction.
That's right. That's right. Look, not every call that is a success is a meeting. And this is another part of cold calling that I'm obsessed with, is the rich nature of the information that we can gather and what we can get done. It's simply easier, much easier for someone to tell you person to person in a conversation what's going on at their organization and what you need to do to get a deal done at their organization, as opposed to them typing it all out into some long email of, hey, Avi, thanks for your cold email. And da, 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 da. Not saying the cold email doesn't work. It has a time and a place, but man, this is why I'm obsessed with cold calling. It's because you get all this crazy information. So we had a few questions while you were live about.
I'm going to get ripping, by the way. I'm going to go back to dialing, so I'll answer them as they come. Sorry, go ahead.
Love it. Hit go. We had questions about how ORUM works. As in,
okay.
Is it filtering out bad numbers? Was, I think, the question that I saw.
So if a number does repeatedly fail, we will filter them out. It is something that our AI is going to be detecting if it's consistently failing, if it's consistently busy. We don't want you to be, continue calling. There is an element too where you can determine if the number is bad. You can mark it. Like if you're using outreach, for example, you mark the number as invalid, then ORUM will not call that number going forward. There's a little bit of AI that's going on to detect the rubbish numbers. There's other, Hey, Mike, this is Avi with ORUM. Oh, that was a voicemail. Okay, never mind.
Never mind.
We are not live. So, so we will do some detecting of voicemails or of bad numbers, but then it's also all on the agent at times to, identify that. But we will avoid those numbers if need be.
Love that.
All right, I'm getting back to
it.
What other questions?
So we have a Christian Allen here is saying, what's the show rate on these meetings? Is this transactional?
That's a good question. I think my perspective on cold calling is I'm trying to build just enough intrigue to make them want to come join the meeting. I think that if I was to send an invite out for weeks from now and not have any kind of follow-up or any kind of nurture sequence that's going out, then the odds of them showing, I would say, are pretty low. That said, I like to also follow up with additional resources for that end user. I can have an idea of what their use case looks like based on the research I've done previously and can send them, case studies or insights from similar customers. I'm just trying to give them, hey, Gustavo. Hey, it's Avi calling from ORUM. Good afternoon. Yeah, I actually sent you an email earlier today. I'm not sure if you saw it. It's a very catchy title, More Calls, Less Time. Does that ring a bell? No worries. I saw you were an ISM over at your firm. I understand you guys are currently using Salesforce. We are an AI-assisted dialer that helps reps make a lot more calls in a lot less time. Seems like you guys are making cold calls. Is that wrong? You guys just got something? Oh, inbound's not making calls. Okay. Well, I know I caught you cold, and I know it's not your job to help lost sales reps. Do you have any idea who I might be able to reach out to, Gustavo, on the outbound side? Info@Shipmon. Got it. All right, very good. I will send it there. I appreciate it. Have a good one. Bye.
Hey, look, that might be the hottest lead that you've ever gotten. Info at.
Oh yeah, hit me at support@info@. Like, okay, sales at. All right.
There you go.
On to the next. But that guy's not a fit, and I'm going to call somebody else at their firm, so it's okay.
There you go. There you go. One time when I was calling for a client back in the day, I actually had someone say, you know, I got an email for you. It is vendor at company. I'm like, you guys go to the point of being like, all sales emails go to one inbox. And I'm sure that inbox is like a wood chipper. It's like
100%.
Just like
these are the emails that we send to spam going forward across our org, right?
Yeah, brutal. Well, let me jump in here.
Yeah, get in there.
I'm going to jump in here, and I want to show a little peek behind the curtain for people so that they can kind of see what this looks like, what Avi and I are looking at. I'm going to show you part of it quickly because, once again, we're being sensitive about people's personal information. Check this out. Share screen. Window. Yeah, check this out. So we're calling multiple people at once, and that is the magic here.
Can see a little bit of that email there for what it's worth, but I don't know if you want to zoom in a little bit more. But what we're doing is once we detect that somebody picks up, we're actually transcribing what we hear so that as a rep, as you're patched into the conversation, you just respond based on what you've read using that transcription. So you're not getting thrown into a conversation having no idea who you're talking to and what they've said previously.
That is what is pretty unique about your platform. Honestly, I've used a bunch of different dialers, right? I'm a dialer consultant, and ORUM is very unique in that you can see exactly what was going on right before you got beeped into the conversation, which is awesome. Totally awesome when it comes to productivity. We got another question here. Thoughts on going for an intro through an end user of the product before contacting the DM? You know, it really
bottom up approach.
Yeah, bottom up approach. It does depend on who you're going to talk to, right? If you're talking to entry level folks, the odds of that being super productive, that you're going to get like walked into a meeting with the DM or walked into an introduction, are pretty low, right? Because entry level people are generally thinking like, I just got to keep my job. I got to not make waves here. Oh shoot, false positive connect.
Well, for what it's worth, just to answer your question, I think really it depends on the product that you're offering, right? The solution that you have. For us at ORUM, obviously an SDR is going to significantly benefit from a product like this. So that first meeting that I booked on the first call, actually, that's how I did it. Connected with somebody on LinkedIn, SDR, gave him access to our tools so he could test it out. We offer pretty robust analytics. He took that to his leadership.
Kevin with Hopp Consulting. Blair, how are you? Oh, yeah, it is a sales call. Enjoy the Eiffel Tower. I'll let you go. Wow. You know how that guy answered that call? He said,
how?
Hey, is this a sales call? Because I'm in Paris right now.
Love that.
Wish I had that. I should have had that song on, what's that Jay-Z song? Dee-doo, 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 dee. Ball so hard.
Yeah,
that shit,
I
Craig.
do. I know that word. I know that song.
Paris. Paris.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in Paris right now.
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, Yuval, I do that though. I definitely do that with SDRs. If they want to try out the technology, we give them access. And you got to build a bit of a use case. You have to find somebody that believes in the product.
Hey, this is Kevin with Hopp Consulting. Jason, how are you? Oh, I was actually looking for Jason. Jason Nihas. Is this the wrong number? Does this number connect somewhere to him or no? All right. No worries. Have a great day. As happens from time to time, we got a wrong number, but in ORUM, that was 2 clicks and boom, I'm back in. I'm back dialing 3 people at once instantly. I think that's, by the way, that's one of the things about ORUM that was like absolute shock factor on productivity. And I was like, oh my God, is you can go from just had this conversation. Hey, this is Kevin with Hopp Consulting. Is this Mark? That's right. And it sounds like you're on a call. Yeah. Another one where the guy's like, he's like trying to listen to his Zoom, and the Zoom is so loud. I could hear everything that the Zoom is saying. They're like, we're looking at the capabilities and the blah, 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 blah. And he's like, who is it? And I said, are you on a call? He's like, yeah, I'm on a call. And then he said, I got to go. And it was like, he was so surprised that I called him, and that he was so surprised that he was like in a conversation. It'll always blow my mind. Avi, I don't know, man. It'll always blow my mind why people are like actually busy and they actually have something going on they're trying to pay attention to, and they're like, I'm going to pick up this call right now. Maybe
they're expecting a call from their doctor or from some, like, who knows, right?
Who knows? But I don't know about you, man. If someone called me right now, guess what? I'm busy. Not pick up the phone.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of you. I appreciate that. Unless it's a return call, which again, in ORUM, you can see who's calling you back too. So you get a call back, it goes right to your cell phone. Within our UI, you can see who's calling you. You can open up their outreach or sales law profile directly from the page. Caleb, send me a DM. Let's get it done. I'm happy to help. Yuval, same with you for that bottom-up approach. I'd be happy to help out. Shoot me a DM, please. Kevin, are you dialing right now, or is it my turn?
No, I'm rolling. I'm
Yuval, I love that, by the way. Give me 30 seconds. Your next baguette's on me. That's fantastic. Right. It's fantastic.
Oh, man. Colin Mitchell, don't forget to send that info out email.
I will not be doing that, Colin, just FYI. But
which is actually,
that's all right.
Like, let's talk about that for a minute. Like, great learning moment. A lot of SDRs will do what they're told, right? Which, all right, hot take here. I don't believe that sales development reps that are making new calls, or even executives that are making new calls, should just blatantly do everything that a prospect tells them to do every single time, right?
Yeah.
Hey, this is Kevin with Hopp Consulting Group. Damon, how are you? Yeah, my name's Kevin, Kevin Hopp. I'm calling with Hopp Consulting Group. I know I'm an interruption here. Do you have 30 seconds? I'll tell you why I called, Damon. Oh, if you don't have 30 seconds, I'll call you another time. Cheers. Oh, you do? Oh, do you have time for a conversation? All right. Well, I was reaching out. I think I noticed on LinkedIn that you were hiring sales folks, right? Is your sales team growing? All right. Now, that was super classic, right? Super classic in that Damon said right out of the gate, he hung up on me. Yeah. So this is like, I was trying so hard to avoid the false negative.
Yeah.
Because he said, what was the first thing he told me? I don't have 30 seconds. And then he said, but what's up? But tell me, what is this about? What is this about? Right? If I don't know.
Call him in 2 weeks.
I should just like hang up on him right then and there. Like, and then like say, or maybe I should institute like a new rule where like if someone says that, I start to say, Damon, can you hear me? Oh my gosh, you're breaking up. You're breaking up. I can't hear you. And then just hang up.
Or you could like throw him a curveball and say, oh, actually, I don't have 30 seconds either. I got to run.
Right. Because I knew as soon as he said that, I was like, this call is toast. When someone says they're busy, they don't have time to talk, and they ask you what this is about, it's not because they're going to magically be interested. It's because hey, this is Kevin with Hopp Consulting. I was looking for James. James, how you doing? I'm with a company called Hopp Consulting Group. It's actually my own little firm. I know I'm an interruption. Did I catch you with 30 seconds? I can tell you why I was calling. Perfect. So I speak to sales leaders like yourself on a daily basis, and they generally mention that their outbound teams either tend to avoid picking up the phone on a consistent basis, or when they do get on the phone, they don't convert their conversations to meetings at a high rate. Now, do either of these scenarios kind of resonate with you, James? Oh, okay. I thought that I think I have you down as a director level title, but that might be one of those scenarios where you have a director title, but you are an IC, right? Individual contributor. Okay. Question for you. So you mentioned that you guys are going through a merger right now? Okay. And because of that, you're not sure who would head up like outbound dialing or the outbound team? Awesome. Noted. James, thanks for having a cool conversation here. I do appreciate it. Have a great rest of your day. Cheers. All right, that was cool. So James has a director level title, but he is an individual contributor. So as soon as I gave him my pitch, he was like, "Oh yeah, I mean like we try to make calls, but I make calls. Like I am a caller. I'm not one that like manages a team." And the reason he was on my list is because he's a director, right? Because you want to talk to people with high titles. Classic, like false positive indicator that someone might be the right person to talk to. But I think the important takeaway there is try to push for the referral. When I push for the referral, once again, learn something new. Learn something.
Get some info.
They're getting acquired. He gave me the name of the acquiring company and said, find whoever's in inside sales there. Hey, this is Kevin with Hopp Consulting. Michael, how are you? I'm doing all right. Look, Michael, I know I'm an interruption. Do you have 30 seconds? I'll tell you exactly why I called. Oh shoot! I mean, I don't want to make you late for your doctor's appointment here. Do you have a minute before you walk in, or is maybe I can call you back tomorrow? Yeah, I was hoping to have a conversation, kind of around sales in general. Here, I saw that you're a VP of sales. Yeah, it's I mean, some people would call it a cold call. Oh, okay. Good question. Yeah, I'm not a technology vendor, if that's what you're asking. So I'll just get into it, Michael. It sounds like you do have a moment to chat. So I run my own consulting firm. It's called Hopp Consulting Group, and I speak to sales leaders all the time. And they mention one of two things really, which is one, that their outbound teams really do avoid picking up the phone because they're not good at cold calling, haven't been trained, or it's really not a strong focus for them, or that when they do pick up the phone, they don't convert their cold conversations to meetings at a high enough rate to make it truly effective. Now, I wasn't sure, Michael. I wanted to give you a call, see if either one of those scenarios kind of resonated with what you have going on. Oh, no way. Okay. Is like scaling that up, is that an initiative this year where you're trying to build an outbound team at all? Okay, awesome. Well, Michael, thanks for that feedback. Do you mind if we connect on LinkedIn? Cool. I'll send over send over an invite now, Michael. Have a great rest of your day. All right, cheers.
Bummer. All right, I'm calling forward at a time. Tell what happened on that one.
Okay, so what happened on that one? Michael is hiring for one salesperson right now, but they're not hiring like a team, and he doesn't have an outbound.
Courtney. Hey, this is Avi with ORUM. Good afternoon. With ORUM, I sent you an email earlier today. Could I steal just a minute? Promise I'll be brief. Understood. Happily. She is busy right now, so I will call her later.
There we go.
Sometimes you go for the permission-based opener and you do not get permission, but that is okay.
That is a-okay. Like, honestly, like, I hope that if people are taking away one thing from this, it's like your life will get so much better with outbound.
Hey, Kevin. Hey, this is Avi with ORUM. Good afternoon. Reason for the call, I sent you an email earlier today with the super creative title, More Calls, Less Time. Could I steal just 1 minute? Or is it a terrible time? Amazing, appreciate that. So I saw you were heading up sales and biz dev at your firm. Based on a job description I saw, it looks like those guys are making a bunch of outbound phone calls. Seems like you guys are using outreach as well. Is that correct? 95% email. Is that mostly just because your ICP doesn't pick up the phones, or is it more of a call reluctance thing across your team? No? But you're using the phones. Maybe not cold calls, but using the phones to build pipeline? Because not every call has to be cold, right? I sent you an email, so it's like a semi-warm call, even though it's mostly cold right now, right? Okay, understood. Well, for what it's worth, we're an AI-assisted dialer that just helps reps make more calls. We're not for everybody, so it may not be a fit, but figured if you guys were making calls and you wanted to maybe make more of them, or if the phones could be an effective channel for you to connect with your prospects, maybe we'd be able to help. In the email that I sent you, I actually included a testimonial from a client that tripled their meetings booked and pipeline with us since they started in January, and just figured I'd reach out to see if we could do the same. They're a SaaS security company. No, that makes sense. Again, we're not for everybody. Okay. Got it. Okay. Yeah, we're not a fit for everybody, so it makes sense. Look, appreciate the insight. I will take you off our list. Thanks, Kevin. See ya. Not a fit. Not a fit.
Interesting. So his target market, they actually don't like, it's all people that are mute, right? So people
exactly.
People that are mute, they don't talk. So because they can't talk and their vocal cords don't work, cold calling and like actually talking to prospects would just be like why would I ever invest in something to actually give me the conversations? Like no one that we ever sell to, like when they get on Zoom, they just get on Zoom and share like their like Google Drive, and they just like type back and forth.
You know what I always say? You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him cold call, Kevin. So it is what it is.
Is that what you always say?
That's what I always say. Yeah, I grew up saying that. So I can keep going. You want to go? You want to get a little shot in? You tell me. I'm ready to rock if you're not.
Okay, keep going. We've got 5 more minutes. Let's see if we both can't get one more in here, huh? One more good conversation. I want to get a meeting, man.
Yeah, you'll get it. I'm going to ramp it up. I was doing 4. I'm going to ramp it to 7 at a time.
That's really aggressive. Ben Woodward with a quick question here. I've been hopping in and out. Sorry, this has been covered already.
Yes.
Are you able to leave a VM?
We can leave voicemails.
That's right.
Yes, we can. You can pre-record them. We will drop them based on the step and the sequence. Hey, John. This is Avi with ORUM. Good afternoon. Doing all right. I know I'm catching you cold. Could I steal just 1 minute? Promise I'll be brief. Cool. I sent you an email earlier today with the very catchy title, More Calls, Less Time. Did you see that by any chance? That's okay. I saw you were leading sales for your firm. I was looking at the website. I saw that you guys have some open positions for sales reps. Seems like they need to be hunting and getting new business. We're an AI-assisted dialer. We're just helping reps make a lot more calls in a lot less time. Are your reps making cold calls like I am today? How are they getting in touch with prospects typically? Oh, like partner referrals primarily? Okay. So you guys don't have like an outbound team that's sourcing new business. It's primarily through partner referrals. You have a few outbound reps though that are making calls potentially. Got it. Okay. So it feels like the phones are not a primary source of business for your firm. Is that fair to say? Okay. Well, then we would not be a fit. And I appreciate your time and hope you have a wonderful rest of the day. Thanks, John. Bye. Another firm. No cold calls.
I love it.
Only, right?
Good. No, but
are they hiring? No, I'm just kidding. I love cold calling. Sorry, what were you saying, Kevin?
This is such a valuable lesson, right? Like I think when I was an SDR, I pushed so hard every time I got someone on the phone to get that meeting. Why? Because coffee is for closers, baby. You gotta get that meeting. My boss every day would say at the end of the day, how many meetings did we get? And I felt pressured to use every connect to the utmost extent. What you're demonstrating here, Avi, is just so classic, which is you don't want to set meetings with people where it doesn't make business sense to have a meeting.
Correct.
Voila.
I do not do that.
It is that simple.
Real quick, I know you're going to make a quick call. I have made 48 calls, had 9 connects, 6 conversations over the course of our meeting today, this podcast. Almost 50 calls. And we've been going back and forth too.
That's right. That's right. This level of productivity, I hope people are seeing this and saying like, yo, this is different, right?
At least give it a look, right?
Jeez. Hey, this is Kevin with Hopp Consulting. Cindy, how are you? Oh, shoot. Somewhere tropical, I hope. Oh, okay. Cool. I'll do that. Cindy, hey, enjoy your vacation. Hope a Mai Tai is in your future. Cheers. She's on vacation. She was very nice about it. She's like, hey, I'm sure this is work related. I'm on vacation. I'm like, all right.
Seems reasonable to me.
Yeah. Also, you won't catch me picking up my phone on vacation.
No.
Not doing it. I'm just gonna not do that. My phone rings. I'm gonna be like silent. Double click on the iPhone. Silence.
Yep.
You know? My favorite is the robo dialer things that when you send it to voicemail, it leaves a voicemail. And I'm like, thank you for doing that. Because then I click on the number, I scroll down, I click that red block button, and that number can never call me ever again. Because we've been trying to reach you about your call. Hey, this is Kevin with Hopp Consulting Group. Kevin, how are you? Oh, shoot. If you're jumping on a call, not a good time, I will reach out another time. Have a great day. Oh, shoot. Kevin, I can't hear you. Can you hear me? Hello? Hello? I did it. I told you I'd do it, and I did it. Where he pushed me really hard and said, I'm jumping on a call, and I could hear the call in the background. I said, "What is this regarding? What is this regarding?" And I just backed away.
Yeah.
I can't hear you. Oh my gosh! And I hung up because I was getting pushed into an absolute corner. He was not about to say, "Oh my gosh, let me stop my Zoom and like have a conversation with you." He was about to say, "Oh yeah, we're good. Oh yeah, take me off your list. Oh yeah, I'm not interested. I'm not interested. Thanks for the call." But I avoided all of that. I had phone troubles, and I will call him again another day. It's that easy. Won't call him today. Cool.
It is that easy.
We have reached the end of our time here, Avi. Believe it
That
or not.
flew by.
I know.
That was a lot of fun. I had a great time.
I'm probably just gonna keep going on ORUM. Like we're gonna turn the live off here in a second, but I'm just gonna keep going and have conversations with people all day because I think that is productive. I don't know about you. What do you think?
I think that's a fantastic use of your time.
I love it. Well, Avi, thank you for joining me, man. It has been great.
Thanks for having me.
I appreciate it. Everybody watching, if you were not impressed here, can't really help you. But if you are impressed, ORUM is a freemium product. How many sales tools are actually freemium that allow you to have live conversations? Very, very few. It's a freemium product. You can go sign up, get a trial account, make a bunch of dials, feel the difference, and see how it impacts your pipeline before you ever have to spend $1. It's incredible. So
also, if you're scaling your team, it was my pleasure. If you're scaling your team, if you're trying to get your reps better on the phones, if they're struggling to make connections and book meetings, you should definitely hit up Hopp Consulting. Right?
There you go. There you go. All things cold calling, that's me. That is me.
Amazing.
Strategy, including ORUM. All right. Well, let's
thanks,
hit
Kevin.
the road, but thanks, Avi.
Have a good one. See ya.